We are just starting to see some damage come in after a tornado swept through Little Rock, Arkansas. We want to show you some of it here. There was a funnel cloud, obviously, that formed over the city. This is part of an extremely dangerous storm system. You can see some of the damage there. The city has just put a shelter-in-place order in because guess what? They think more could be on the way. Look at that. Look at that car absolutely flipped over. You see in the background there more damage. The governor of Arkansas is just tweeting out in maybe the last couple of seconds here that there is significant damage. You're looking at it here. At this point, we know that there are millions more who are in the path of this potentially deadly storm. Again, this is all happening as this is unfolding. I want you to listen to what it sounded like when some of the sirens started going off not too long ago. Yeah, that's something you definitely do not want to hear. About 13 million people are under a tornado watch, and it's something the National Weather Service calls a particularly dangerous situation. That is a siren, metaphorically, in addition to that literal siren there. Memphis, Des Moines, St. Louis. I want to bring in now Blayne Alexander, who is live for us here, along with meteorologist Bill Cairns. Blayne, I want to start with you, and I want to explain where we're going to you here. You're in Memphis, Tennessee. We have a team in Arkansas. Yeah. We cannot bring them to you live right now because of how dangerous this situation is. The first priority for us here at NBC News is to make sure our people are safe. They are in a safe situation, huddling to make sure that they are sheltering in place and following the orders of the city. Talk us through then from your vantage point in Memphis, Blayne, how this goes down and how significant this could be.
And Hallie, if I can, I want to touch on that very quickly because
Please.
I've covered I don't know how many storms like this. And this is the first time that I can remember our climate unit, our weather unit there at NBC News, reaching out to every correspondent in the field in the storm's path and saying, listen, this is high risk. This is very dangerous. We want to know where you're going to be so that we can track where that storm is and tell you that you need to get to shelter. Like I said, I've lost count of how many storms I've covered. Haven't seen anything like that. So this really kind of tells us this is a high-risk situation. That's the term that's reserved for when there's a certainty that we will see tornadic activity, that we will see what Bill Cairns put earlier as town-altering storms. Right now I'm in Memphis, and the weather that you just showed is headed my way. We've got about an hour or so, maybe a little bit more before it hits here in Memphis. I've got to tell you, though, that earlier this afternoon, when the storm was still hours away, we could feel that wind. This area has been under a wind advisory for much of the day. We've been under a tornado watch for much of the day. And so really, yes, we've seen rain on and off, but it's those winds that they're certainly concerned about here in this area. We do know that some people are telling folks to, yes, make sure that you have a plan in place. Don't wait until you hear those sirens, but know where you're going to go. Go to your interior rooms, go to your lowest level. That's what we're going to expect to see. Now, another thing that we note about this, Hallie, this is why it's so dangerous and why it's so different, is that we're expecting several supercells to pass over our area. So even though one may blow through, we could think that we're in the clear. There could be two, maybe even three behind that that are also going to come, bringing the same level and the same strength of the storm as what we've already seen, Hallie.
And I'm just seeing an alert now that the state of Arkansas has now requested National Guard assistance to come in to help because of how serious this situation is, Blayne.
Yeah, and I think that it certainly goes without saying that this comes right on the heels of what we saw in Mississippi, what we saw in Alabama, and some of those places are still in the storm's path as well, perhaps not bracing for a direct hit like we are in Memphis, but certainly still trying to clean up and are going to be hampered by the severe weather. This really is what we're seeing a lot, though, these storms kind of coming almost one after the other. So, yes, when we're talking about National Guard coming in and helping, it's certainly necessary when you talk about the devastation that you've seen in Arkansas. And keep in mind that we're only getting the first looks. We don't necessarily know what other storms have blown through, what other storms are still to come. And so I suspect that as the hours unfold, and even as we get into tomorrow, we're going to see the full picture of the strength that these storms are bringing with them, Hallie.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.